Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. I'm your host, Carly, and I'll be your guide on this journey from consciousness to cluelessness and back around again. Thanks for joining me for another Sunday solo episode. Whether it's Sunday night and you're getting ready for your week, Monday morning and you're on your way to work, or whatever day this podcast has found you, I'm really glad you're here. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness, or is it preventing you from achieving your goals? By now, you all know that therapy is an important part of my self-care. It has truly been a game changer in every aspect of my life. BetterHelp is the largest online counseling platform worldwide. They are changing the way people get help with facing life's challenges by providing convenient, discreet, and affordable access to a licensed therapist. BetterHelp makes professional counseling available anytime, anywhere, through a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it is professional counseling done securely online. And I have a special offer for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Carly and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. By using this code, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Carly. Take care of yourself today. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. So today I want to talk about coaching again. I know I've been talking about that more and more because it's been really fun for me to be kind of upping my game and what I can offer, working on programming for transformational coaching. If you haven't heard me talk about that before, there's some more episodes. There's tons of posts on social media, on my website. Basically, I have combined my trainings of meditation and mindfulness coach, health and wellness coach, being a yoga instructor, and also plant-based. So all of those things, all of these certifications I've combined to become a transformational coach. And that just means that if there's change you want to make in your life, specifically one of those things I mentioned or not, I want to help you feel better and feel like you can make those changes. So I thought I would do an episode on why the hell coaching works. Like, what's the science? What's the reasoning? Why does it work to kind of have some sort of accountability buddy and work with someone and have someone guide you through this process? Because I think it's important to know why it works, why it is something worth looking into. So I found this perfect article that I'm going to use to guide the discussion today. The first thing I really like that this article states is that it says you don't have to work with a coach. I am not here to tell you that if you don't work with a coach, you won't achieve the things you want. That is not what I believe at all. But there are benefits from working with someone, benefits that I've experienced working with the different coaches that I've worked with, and benefits I can see other people having. So that being said, by the way, I'm going to link this article so you can see it, but I wanted to use it as a guide to just talk through why this stuff can work. So number one in this article, it talks about getting clear on what you want in life. And I think that has been one of the things I've experienced the most with working with coaches or doing my own programming and work, like participating in those, not offering those, is that it just helps you get clear in what you want. There are a lot of different directions we feel like our lives can go, and sometimes it's hard to know which one to choose, and ultimately you can only choose that, but it can be nice to work with someone to really hone in and say, what do I want? What matters? How can I kind of tease through this? Or maybe what are next steps? So that's the next one. You'll get clear on what actions help move you forward. If you're like me, sometimes you can think of 7,000 different ways you could move forward. And that can be almost debilitating because you're wondering, well, actually, what is the next move? What do I do here? It can be really hard to know. It can be hard to know what to do and not feel like you are kind of stuck in that, okay, yep, everything's going to be great. I've got some ideas, but then you just are almost in cement and you can't move your feet and go forward because there's too many options and it's a little overwhelming and you want to make the right choice. I get stuck in that a lot. I want to make the right choice and I act as if there is a wrong choice. And I think it's helpful to have someone guide you and to see that big picture a little bit more than you can see. Which again goes right into that next thing on this list, which is you'll get clearer on what is holding you back. So we have blind spots. We all have blind spots. I have blind spots on my own stuff in my life. And when you work with someone, it is easier to kind of hear and see those things to understand, oh, well, what about this? What about this fear or limiting belief is holding you back? You can't really see the picture when you're standing right in it. So you can be guided to see what you can't necessarily see by doing the work on your own. So of course, the next one on this list I feel like is hopefully a given when you're working with a coach is that you'll develop better habits. No matter what you are working on, whether it is food or mindfulness or sustainability or whatever you are working on transforming in your life, you are looking to make better long-standing habits. Now that is important because I don't think it's worth it to work with a coach that's going to show you all these amazing things that you could do, but they don't really stick. They don't make sense to you. So those habits need to make sense to you. And moving on to the next one, you need to believe in yourself more. And I can tell you that all day long, but until you actually feel it, until any of us actually feel it, we don't believe it. So you always end up doing more than you think you could because we just are programmed and socialized to doubt ourselves first, which is why it can be so helpful to get that outside perspective and have someone believe in you to the point where you have nothing left to do but also believe in yourself. Some of the other things on this particular list I think all really roll into one, because if you believe in yourself, you are more courageous. Believing in yourself takes courage. You do value yourself more because you realized you could believe in yourself. And finally, one of the biggest concepts I think to note here on working with a coach is that you'll feel supported. So yes, of course, that you'll start feeling like you can believe in yourself and someone else believes in you, but also you'll be motivated and supported because somebody else is in your corner. And sometimes it can be really nice to have that with a friend or a family member to kind of work towards being healthier or happier together. But sometimes an outside perspective and working with someone who has more maybe of a neutral standpoint on your progress or isn't going to judge you in the way people close in our life would, and they don't mean to. But that motivation and that support is coming from someone in a way that maybe you haven't gotten before. And that can be really game-changing too. Maybe you just haven't felt that support on this part of your journey. So that is like a really quick overview of why working with a coach actually works and actually can give you results in making change in your life. And I just want to add that working with a coach is empowering. Every time I've worked with someone, I've mentioned this before, I worked with a manifestation coach to learn more about that and to hone in on some of those skills. And it made me feel empowered because I was choosing to say, I don't know enough about this. I want to learn more. And I'm going to work with someone who knows more than me so then I can know more. And it just felt really good because I knew I was making those decisions to help me. I mean, with no other goal in mind than to make myself happier and healthier. And investing that type of energy and time made me feel really good and made me feel more motivated then to keep going and to keep trying because I realized I'd already taken that step into saying, yeah, I'm worth it. I'm going to do this shit for me and I'm going to work with someone who knows how to help me. And as a coach, as someone who wants to work with you, the listener, whoever is listening right now, in whatever ways that you need help, I just freaking love doing this. I mean, it's real corny, but anytime someone even messages me about needing help with being plant-based or whatever it is, I might not get back to you within 2 seconds. But when I do, it's because I've been thoughtful and trying to cultivate a good answer. I love working with people. Even those questions make me so excited because it means someone thought for a second, I have a question about doing this thing, and I think I'm going to reach out. And sometimes that can be really freaking scary. So if you are thinking about working with someone but you're not sure and you want to make changes in your life, at least reach out to me and see what we can do and just go from there. You just never know how it's going to work or what possibilities can emerge. So again, my email, consciouslycarly@gmail.com, or consciouslycarly on all the things, Facebook and Instagram. Hit me up and see what we can do together. I hope that was helpful for you in terms of working with me or anybody else on why you can invest in someone that knows a little bit more than you and how that can be really empowering and helpful. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe wherever you're listening to help me get this into the ears of more listeners. Send it to a friend, text it to a family member, share on social media. Whatever you can do really helps me out. If you go ahead and leave a review wherever you're listening, it really does help more people find out about the podcast. And if you haven't yet, hit up patreon.com/consciouslycarly for yoga videos, meditation, vegan recipes, behind the scenes podcast content, and so much more. I would love to have you over there. Go check it out right now. Until next time.